Welcome back to the channel. Now recently I've been making a little metal model kit, and it's of the Titanic, or as the kit calls it, Titanic with an M, I guess to get around copyrights or something. Anyway, it's quite a nice little model, and I thought, you know, I'd like to put lights in this to light up the portholes. No real idea how to do that properly, but what I would like to do is to modify a Dollar Tree solar garden light. These are the $1.25 ones with a really large panel. Modify the casing and such so it doesn't look like a garden light, but drive something, some lighting system to light this up. And that's the project, which I thought would make a good little Sunday project itself. So the first thing to do is to take this light apart, and then I'm going to change it around, neaten it up, change the design somewhat so it doesn't look like one of these, and then we can work out how I'm going to do the lighting inside the boat. Right, so that's everything taken apart, and the next thing I think what I'm going to do is to, let's see, I'll use these cutters and cut out around that area so we end up with just this black section. So that's the next thing I'm going to do, is to cut around and neaten that all up. Right, there's the rough outline, and now to tidy it up some more by clipping around and I suppose, yes, bending. Right, back in a minute. Okay, not looking too bad, and in fact looks how I hoped it would do. So to finish it off and neaten it up, I think I'll use some sandpaper, and I'll do that next. There we go, it looks very different now. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Next thing is the lighting itself. Gotta find out some way of doing that. And here's what I think might be the solution. And what the heck is that thing? Well, the other day I got a couple of new wipers for the car, windscreen wipers, and on the bottoms of which were these plastic strips. So the thing is, putting an LED in the end, I'll show you what happens with them. And here's a demonstration of it. So I've got a 3mm LED and a coin cell. And then we can see if I turn around to where it's a bit darker over here, you can see the light travels through quite well. So I think I'm going to try that. And another thing that I just found out is that a little piece of tin foil on the end, stuck to the end with a bit of glue, really does help to bounce the light back some as well. That's going to be the method then. That's roughly the right length I'll need. I've already got that white 3mm LED in the end. So what I'll do next is I'll take the LED off the circuit, I'll run a couple of wires, I'm not sure what length, you know, just that kind of a distance, and take off that LED there. Then I'll stick the circuit to the back, and I think really it can sit like that. Probably on the windowsill in the day, and then in the evening hopefully the light will come on. Right, let's get this LED out. That's one way. And now I've attached the wires on the back instead, such that, let's see if I've got them the right way round, such that when the battery goes in. Oh yes, there we are. And the light is on. So the next thing to do is to fit that light inside the little model. But what I'll do before that is actually thinking about it. I best neaten this up by gluing it to the main base. And there we are. I've rearranged the wires a little bit. I cut one of the red wires down. That looks quite neat. So next thing, to put that in there. Okay, so on the first try here, there is a problem, and that is, you can see it straight away, that it's lighting up at the back, and that's too bright. So what I've thought of doing is getting a piece of heat shrink and putting that on the end, so I can cover up slightly, and that should prevent it being that bright spot. But it's obviously going to be a bright spot because that's where the LED is. So I'll put the heat shrink on and see if that fixes it. And now, yes, that is much better, much less glaring going on. Right, now I'll set it up for a couple of shots for the evening. Here's the setup I'm going to be using. That's just a bin underneath there with a cloth on top, and I've got the boat, and then, well, a monitor that I'm not using is behind it. And for the camera, you won't believe this, it's a pair of night vision binoculars, but it does a wonderful job of close-ups. It's macro but binoculars. Doesn't make much sense, but it does take some really great pictures. So that's the setup, and we'll see what it produces. Alright, just have this charging in the window, and then notice something. Put that against the wall. The light makes it look like a ghost ship. Absolutely fascinating and a wonderful effect. Wow. So here's the first picture, and I was hoping to get something like a fog kind of a scene for that fateful night in April of 1912. So it did do a nice job of focusing at the front. Now here's a better fog kind of a picture, and I think it's mainly based on the way that the monitor behind was reflecting light, and there's some light still coming through from outside. But that's quite a good image, I thought, of a foggy scene. Next along, another view from the front, and this time with more emphasis on creating a kind of in focus and out of focus from front to back, and that worked out okay. Here's the final picture, where I've got a piece of foam acting as an iceberg. It came out okay. I do like the way that the portholes seem to have different brightnesses. It's quite effective, I thought. Right, well, thanks very much for watching this, and see you next time.